Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey Rettke. I am the editor of the Daily Chronicle. I'm joined today with our DeKalb City reporter, Megann Horstead, and one of our DeKalb mayoral candidates, John Walker. He also serves as the 7th Ward Alderman currently on the City Council. Welcome to everybody. So, John, if you could just sort of start us off today, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you're running for mayor.
Just about now, everyone pretty much knows who I am. My name's John Walker. Like Kelsey said, I'm currently the seventh world order person. I've served on 8 committees here in DeKalb and the county as well. I'm a blue collar worker, and I believe a blue collar worker deserves a blue collar town. I think we'll be a match, made in heaven. I'm a 27 veteran of the UPS. I know just about everybody in this community and some people form, and I'm running because I am the people. I am a citizen. All the gripes that I've ever had, I got tired of complaining about them. And, I did my due diligence with city government, and I'm no better than anybody else. I'm just the average guy that has put in the work. And although I'm going to lead this city in the right direction, everybody's going to be on the bus. So that's what I'm about, and that's who I am. And I want to talk about the main issues that plague DeKalb, whether it's roundabouts, whether it's a grocery tax, or whether it's the human relations commissions. I don't run from anything, and I leave nothing in between for people to speculate what I mean. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And that's the main reason why I'm running for mayor.
All right. Thanks for that. What, in your opinion, are DeKalb's top three issues that you would want to address if elected, and how would you address them?
Okay, well, it's not what I think is, some of the three, things that we definitely need to change. One is always creating new ways to lower taxes. And the one way, we always need economic development. So don't let anyone ever not even say that. That's just what it is. But we need to, have different ways like organic growth. And what I mean by organic growth is a way that we can basically diverse, but diversify and increase the property tax base. That's one way. Verse, subsidizing, areas with TIF districts, because we all know that's one way of raising taxes because, taxing bodies don't get the money or the revenue that, they would if a TIF district went in. So that's one way. Another way is, now everyone knows I'm big into this, but I'm definitely empowering residents, and committees to have a real say in what city government does. I believe that we all live here, so we all should have some type of say. And I would definitely will be throwing a lot. Well, I won't start lying. I'm definitely going to throw quarterly town hall meetings to hear from, the citizens, and I want to hear, what they want. I like to gauge the community. Even when I'm working at UPS, I ask people. I got a gift of the gab. I like talking. I want to hear what they want. I want to hear from some of their experience because I don't know it all. And the main thing that I've been doing, my team and I've been doing recently for about going on 6, 7 months is talking to different developers on how to create affordable housing to new homeowners. I think that's real huge. Everyone always talks about, we have to do it, but no one ever comes up with ways to do it. So my team and I have been, definitely studying, data on how to do that. And with the help of a few developers, I think we're heading in the right direction for that. But I'll give you four just to be nice, because I know I'm under the 3 minutes you gave me. Definitely, I want to empower, neighborhood watch committees and groups. And ever since I said that at a debate, I've had 17 people willing to support me with doing that. And I have them all over in the Andy Glyph North area, which is very surprising. They talk to me about wanting to do it. I play ball with a guy from Inglewood in Chicago, and he said he moved to DeKalb, to ensure him and his family's safety. And he said he's gotten out here and it's like, whoa, am I still back home? And it's guys like that who want to better DeKalb as well, not just other people. It's guys who come from that type of environment. And he's the main one that wants to be on this neighborhood watch. So if I can create that in the city, to be able to help police officers, hey, sky's the limit to what we can do with crime for real out here.
That was good timekeeping. That was a little under 3 minutes, John.
I'm good. That's what, hey.
You're doing great. Um, So I want to talk a little about finances. Obviously, you've been on the city council over the past couple years, so you know the process of passing a fiscal budget. In your opinion, do you think that budget has any excess, any room for cuts? If not, why? If so, what would you cut?
Okay, well, to be quite honest with you, yes, I'm sure you guys saw me in my most vulnerable moment. I have worked a lot with the city manager to understand the budget because anybody just can't pick up that 2024-5 budget and think they know what's going on with it without sitting down with someone who is definitely cognizant about all the ins and outs of it. And I've done that. And with any budget, no matter who you are or what establishment you're running, there's always excess factors always. It's just about needs and wants. And what I would cut, well, I can't, I'm a team player and I can't just, make assumptions of now what I would cut. No, I won't do that. But I definitely believe in being fiscal responsible in all areas. Now, that being said, I don't know if that you want to lead into the next question, which would be the grocery tax. I'll leave it alone right now, but I'm definitely not for that for a multitude of reasons. But the main reasons that I'm not for that is, you know what? Citizens are struggling as it is, to put food on the table and just, trying to budget their own life and their own finances. And I honestly believe that the city has to do a job just like we as, families have to do a job. It's always give and take. We can't always keep on figuring out ways to put more pressure on the taxpayers and the citizens. There has to be a point where we stop doing that. And you know what? I've always believed, city government has to do it just like we have to do it with our own family. You want more? I mean,
Oh, I think Megan's up next.
that's the first time. Hey,
I
I can
did.
talk all day. I'm trying to stay under the 3 minutes.
It probably feels extra long because a lot of these forums have been like 1 minute answers.
Hey, you know what? When you do your homework, you can hit the question,
Yeah,
answer it, next one.
exactly.
You mentioned that the state is doing away with this grocery tax,
Mhm.
and could you elaborate on why you would may or not push to enact a local grocery tax on DeKalb residents? Why or why not?
No, May, don't. It's not why or why not. I won't. Because like I said, citizens are busting through the seams as it is. And yes, I know we'll probably, I believe the mayor said we'll probably lose about 750,000. I get that. But like I said, there in any budget, there's always excess fat to cut. Now, whether you want to cut it, that's another issue. But there always is. There always has to be. It's a budget. So with a budget, you play with a budget. Hey, like you do at home. I'm sure this week you may not be able to watch Netflix because you want to go to Chipotle. I mean, I know it's on a bigger, scale of things, but in every establishment, there's always excess fat to cut. You just have to depend on what are the needs and what are the wants.
All right, thanks for that, John. So sort of keeping on along the trend of things happening at a bigger scale that could likely impact our community. We've written about this a lot before. There are tariffs that are going to be possibly likely impacting our local businesses here in DeKalb, whether that's their bottom line, whether that's the cost that they have to pay to get products in that they are then selling to the consumer. There's a lot of sort of national uncertainty surrounding the economy in general right now. I know in 2020, when again we had a lot of national uncertainty because of the pandemic, the city did take a number of steps to ensure that businesses felt supported in uncertain times. Do you have any ideas of how, if elected, the city can help support our businesses currently that may or may not be struggling or will struggle with the tariffs?
Kelsey, you messed up. When I am elected, got to get that right. When I am elected, so this is the biggest thing for me, and this is when I like to bring people that know more than me into the room. Now, for an example, we all know that those small businesses are a fabric of our community. And I would know that because I delivered to them for 27 years. So my heart goes out for them back in the COVID times. So when that happened, I was able to speak with all of them as I'm working. And the one thing that I understood from all of them, they all need something different. So I don't think any type of city government could put something in place to tell all these businesses what they need. So this is what, you know, the ladies downtown DeKalb do that I've been to a few times. They all meet like maybe once every other month and they talk about what they can do for their businesses. Now, Mayor Barnes had the luxury to go to them, but from what I'm hearing, he went one time and he didn't follow up with them. But the one thing that I have done, and you can definitely go down there and you can talk to Sports of All Sorts back with Brenda Lehan. You can talk to Stacy and Kirby Chilton. You can talk to the owner of Bagel City, Barb City Bagels, whatever. Like, whatever. She's gonna be mad at me for that one. But you know, I've always reached out to these people and I always ask them, what can I do? What can the city do? What can the seventh ward alderman do to help your business? What can we do? So I think they know that I care about them. But the one thing that I can never do is tell them what they need. I need for them to tell us what they need, and we need to make it happen.
Thanks for that. Next question is, do you feel that DeKalb City policies are inclusive, equitable, and welcome diversity?
Hey, you got a handsome black man running for mayor. I mean, how else can we get? But to elaborate a little bit more on that, the one thing that I would say yes. However, with the mayor eliminating the Human Relations Commission, that that kind of set us back a little bit because the HRC is really what about inclusion is, and it's exclusive. I mean, you have a bunch of people on a board from different backgrounds who could definitely help the community out that was just taken out. So how are we supposed to tell somebody, yeah, we're exclusive to all people when we don't even have a board to show that. I think that was a downfall, for the city in that regard. But the one thing that I don't like is how we always talk about inclusion and we always relate it to black people. I am black and I'm proud to be black, but at the end of the day, it's about a whole community. It's just not about one specific group of people. I always hear the incumbent talking about, I heard Dr. Powell, give a great speech, but, I'm tired of hearing that. That's cool and that's great. And yes, this is everybody's community, but you can't say you're everybody's community when you're giving, or you're kind of taking away certain communities, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And I think with him getting rid of the HRC, he definitely done that. See how I look at boards and commissions and committees, they're like our foot soldiers and our allies. And when I do become your mayor, I'm going to lean hard on those chairs and those committees and those boards to be my allies because guess what? I don't know it all. And they're the foot soldiers. I was on the HRC. I was a foot soldier. I was talking to everybody I could about whatever gripes they had in the city. What'd you hear? What do you know? What do we need to do? And those are the kind of people that we need on those boards because those people bring information back to city council, back to, older people, back to their chairs. Then we find up a nice comprehensive plan to explore whatever they need us to do. So that's why boards like that are really, really good for a city like a small city like DeKalb.
Awesome. Thanks for that, John. And we're going to go into our final question.
Wow, that's it?
You're doing, yeah, there's blue through. This has been a large conversation, I think, in general, is the idea of what places in DeKalb need infrastructure improvement. I know that in the last year, the budget has reflected that as a city priority. We saw even just this week, the conversation surrounding where to put a roundabout has been out in the public. Are there any areas in DeKalb that you think need infrastructure improvement that haven't been addressed yet? And where are those places?
Well, Kelsey, okay, well, you point out the roundabout situation, so let me address that real quick, if I may. I'm not for, well, let me retract that. It's not that I'm not for roundabouts. I'm not for a roundabout by the Elwood House, and especially when eminent domain is added onto that sentence. I don't, I'm definitely 100% sure when I become mayor that I'm definitely going to try to, get that off the agenda because if you heard around town, and I have heard, the citizens are against that. Now, I get it. People can come back with data this, data that. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's about values and morals. And the one thing that I'm going to do quarterly is throw those town hall meetings to where we don't get to where we at now with those with the roundabout gossip and roundabout talks. So I just want to, I'm not going to leave no in between the lines with that. I'm not going to talk like a politician. I don't want the roundabouts here at Clinton Rosette and the Elwood House. I'm 100% against that. Now, to go into the infrastructure question a little bit more broader. Now, I took a couple rides with city engineer Zach Gill, and I wanted to know, how do we figure out what roads need to be done? Because I live in Devonair, and I believe all roads need to be done. But he came back and told me, no, you guys have like a C grade or something like that. So I asked him, how do you monitor that? Because, I'm like, how? You just look at the hole and, oh, L, I didn't understand, right? But there's a scientific thing if you sit down and talk with him about it. And he would be able to tell you better than I, but they have these trucks and they have something up under them. And I guess they go driving throughout the city. I don't know if you guys heard of this, but it tells you, I don't know if it's from the roughness of the ride or the roughness of the street or whatever the case may be, but it grades your street. And that's how the city comes up with, what streets need to be done before what. Now, like I said, I'm a UPS driver, city official. I don't know anything about engineering, but for the most part, if he tells me that's how it's graded, and that's what I have to believe, and that's how the city comes up with that strategic plan on what roads need to be done first. But when I am your mayor, I'm going to figure out, and not just me, but the commissions that will be my allies, we will figure out, and city council will figure out a better way to get some of the roads that need major upgrades like right now. So that's but just as far as the infrastructure, everywhere at this point, you guys drive around the city, DeKalb, a lot as much as I do. So there's not really a specific area, although because everybody will say that their area is specifically in dire need of roads if you ask them, hey, you go outside my house, there's a big old hole in there. And man, when it rains, ducks go swimming in it. So I'm sure some of you guys have that all around the city. So there's not really no big area, except for maybe, the fourth street corridor area, you build that back up a little bit, put some other sidewalks on there, where the school kids have to walk, down to the middle school. But yeah, that's what I think about that. But yeah, I think the city as a whole, we just have to get the infrastructure straight and get it right.
For a point of clarification, the roundabout that is planned near the Elwood House,
Hmm.
the city released a statement earlier this week saying that eminent domain has never been considered for the project.
Okay.
And likewise, the Daily Chronicle has never reported such a thing. So I wanted to make a point of clarification about that. You had mentioned in your remarks that there's been talk of eminent domain proceedings being considered for the roundabout. And so I wanted to make sure that the viewers are made aware of that.
Well, hey, well, I'm glad you did that, but I'm just letting anybody who wants to know if it does hop on there where I stand with it, with or without eminent domain. I'm not for it. Sometimes, when you take seats, you have to do what you say you're going to do. And when I took an oath and the seat as a 7th Ward alderman, I said, you know what, there are going to be times where I'm going to disagree with my constituents, and there's going to be times where I agree. And this is time where I agree with my constituents, but that was my thinking going in. So, hey, I'm sorry if may I heard a rumor or whatever the case may be, but either way it goes, I'm not in support of the roundabouts by Clinton Rosette and Huntley, or not Huntley, but Clinton Rosette and the Elwood House. I'm not in support of that, 100%. And there's no in between the lines to read with that.
Thanks for that, Megan. Do you want to do the final question, Megan?
Tell us why DeKalb residents should vote for you.
When you want to vote for me, I am a typical DeKalb citizen. I think like them. I am them. This is a blue collar town. I'm a blue collar worker. I fight for everybody. I don't like people being treated unfairly. I don't like people receiving friends and family discounts. This is all of our city. It's not just one or two or a group of people's city. Everybody should have a say in what we do here in DeKalb. I'm the best man for this job because A, since for the past 6 or 7 years, I've educated myself on what it means to be an alderman. I served on all these boards and all these commissions just for the simple fact that I wanted to know the ins and outs. I wanted to be able to answer your questions as well as my constituents' questions. I'm a resourceful human being. I go off data, but I also go off morals and values as well. And I believe there's more people in DeKalb that go off that than there is the other way. Um, I'm here for all wards. I'm here for all people. Like I said, I want to help the police. I want to implement, all these neighborhood watches. I want to make our commissions and our boards stronger than ever. I want to let the chairs of those boards be foot soldiers for us and bring us back all the information we need to move in the right direction for DeKalb. I want to definitely create and diversify and create a different property tax base. We need to pump money into our Sycamore downtowns, our Sycamore Road retail. There's so much we need to do, and we have to do organic growth. We have to quit subsidizing it. And I think, my team and I have a nice little strategic plan to be able to do this, and that's what we're going to do. And when I am your mayor, I will stand by every word that I said.
Thank you for that.
Thanks so much, John. And I just want to say thank you again for joining us today. Thanks also to Megan for all of the great questions. I do want to remind our viewers who will see this that you can already vote if you want to. Early voting is already underway in the city of DeKalb. More early voting locations start opening on March 17th. Election day is April 1st. And this is not the only way that you can learn more about candidates that are on your ballot. The Daily Chronicle also has an Election Central webpage. You can go to shawlocal.com/daily-chronicle/election. You can read more about John. You can read more about the other candidates running for mayor. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.